How's it going, everybody? It's been a little while. Life's been a bit crazy at the minute. So I just want to give a bit of a quick, account and life update of what's going on at the minute. So starting with the account, obviously we got Udex Artor the other day. I did pull him pretty much straight away. I did a boo-boo. I forgot about clan versus clan, which was starting like a day and a half later or whatever. So I did pull them and started getting them built up. I did initially want to save the build for doing like a video on it, but life got in the way, so I've ended up just getting them started geared up. We just need to finish leveling up some of the gear when we do build up a stack of silver at some point. But these are the stats that he's currently running. 241 speed, it'll go up to what's that, another 14, so it'll be at 255 ish speed there once he's done. Yeah, and it'll be a bit more tankier as well because he'll have the more HP and stuff like that as well. So yeah, he's not in too bad of a build. In terms of the books, we did get kind of unlucky. The first two legendary books did, because I was mainly for the current progression, like with clan boss and that I wanted to try and improve. I just needed the 2 to drop into his A2, so I did just do 2 books, and they both dropped in this one with his revive, which I wasn't like unhappy with. But obviously, if I could have got away with just having the 2 in this for now, and then down the line do the rest, then yeah. So then I thought, right, I'll do another 2. So the first one went into this, and then the second one went into his A1. That's right, okay. So I was doing sort of like one by one, trying to see if I got lucky, and then every other single one went into his bloody A1. So we still need one on his A2, and then you can actually put one into his passive as well, which that'll be another one to put in there eventually. But the main one we want is this one, just to get that extra cooldown, make this the 3 turn. Then that'll be up a hell of a lot more of the time. So yeah, other things. There has been recently 2 times on Ancients, which I just decided to just go a bit mega in while I was on holiday. So I did just do it, and I burned through gems as well just to see if we could get anything, anything exciting. Which we did get a few decent epics, and we did get a legendary as well. Nothing hugely exciting, but hell yeah, we did get him. So you can see his ratings there. He's not great, but he's just going to be, again, just one of them champions that I just chuck into faction wars. He's a very old champion, so he could do with updating. Those 2 champion updates they do every 2 or 3 months. Yeah, but then epics wise though, we did get the Fat Man. So I've decided he was going to be my next 6-star. So he's already rank 6. We managed to buy a soul out of the shop for him, so I thought, screw it, we'll get him in there. But he's another ally attack, so I'm thinking potentially, because he also then has 50% chance of placing decreased defense. It's not obviously a great one, but being on an A1, he might slot in instead of Ugo, possibly, to still place the decreased defense at times, but then he's also got the ally attack, which is going to increase crit damage as well. So we may be able to sort of sneak more damage through to get us closer and closer to being able to either move up to Ultra or to 1 key Nightmare at times. And then obviously his A2 has HP burn and poison, so again he's going to put out some decent damage, but his damage itself, so like the base damage of his attacks, isn't what I'm bothered about on this. So I'm mostly bothered about him then surviving, even though he's in a quote-unquote attack champion. He doesn't attack with this. Everybody else except him attacks. So there's no damage coming from himself there. And then, the damage from him here is really, it's coming from the HP burn and the 2 poisons. So then, yeah, we're not really too bothered about him doing the damage itself, which is why I'm building him to survive. So I'm going like with defensive and HP and stuff like that. Just to sort of, this was just one of those sort of boots where it was like, it was kind of the better one of the lot that I had just sat there unused. So he has got crit rate, but again, we're not bothered about the crit. So that's how we are kind of building them. I think, did I already have? Yeah, I think I checked these 2, and I think it's going to be this one that I'll go with, because I think that one, or did I want to go pinpoint? I can't really remember. Yeah, I've got a couple of choices with like to go for like a pinpoint neck just to get some. So this one will be extra speed because he's got a pinpoint helm on, so he'll gain the speed from the 2-set bonus from that. And then do I have any decent banners for him? Oh yeah, I've got an accuracy banner there with speed on it. So there's chance there to go with these two, and then I'll get also the 3-set bonus for the extra 20 accuracy plus the accuracy. Might end up having way more accuracy than I need, but at least then he's got, you know, enough to do other content if we want to put him in there. So that's that. But then we also did get Seeker, which I was very happy with because he potentially could unlock us doing different comps for Clan Boss. Like we might get away with not needing a second block buff person now, since we do have Roshcard. His 30% turn meter could be the ticket here, because it's when it's booked, it's down to a 3 turn, but then he gains an extra turn. So for everybody, it's a 2-turn cooldown on the 30% turn meter fill. So he does do a decent amount of damage as well, and if he gets crit, he puts increased defense on everybody, which Clan Boss you probably shouldn't get crit much. But if it does happen, you know, it's just a cheeky little bonus there. So he, like I say, he could be a ticket for us to move forward. I need to look into like different comps if you can get away with just having like, you know, maybe Seeker, Apothecary and Roshcard in, so you're still getting the increased speed. So it's either High Cartoon or Apothecary, which Apothecary for Clan Boss would probably be better, because High Cartoon would do the increased speed and turn meter. Then she can't decrease his turn meter, so that's pointless. She can't put decreased speed on him, so that's pointless. So Apothecary can at least then heal randomly if we do need it. So he's probably the one that we would go with for that. Yeah, so we'll end up looking at some stuff like that. Just getting to do these. Yeah, so the stuff going on in life at the minute, which has been annoying and stressful, which is why it's been very sporadic and not very consistent how I've been doing the videos. So essentially, about a month ago or so, we found a new house that we want to buy. So we started the process of, you know, selling this house and buying a new one. We're kind of lucky in the beginning situation because we already have a private buyer for our house, and then the guy who we're buying the new house off, he used to rent it out, but then now he's just selling it. So there's nobody in that house now, so there's no chain there. So we were quite lucky in that, and then so we're quite happy with that. You know, it's a house we're going to be in, you know, for most of the rest of our lives, pretty much, probably until we're crippled and can't walk upstairs anymore. So we're really excited about that, and so that was all going on. The mortgage guy was in the process of getting, like, the mortgage was getting done. The banks were doing like all their checks. They do the financial stuff to make sure, you know, you send in your pay slips, make sure you can afford it and all that bollocks on the back end. So that happened, and then 2 to 3 weeks after that starts, then I go into work and I got made redundant, which was a very unfortunate timing thing. And so I had, because of the length of time I've been there, I had 8 weeks to work before leaving. And so obviously in my head I was getting like stressed as out, thinking about losing the house that we were wanting to buy. So, you know, like a week or so of constant stress trying to, like, you know, apply for jobs and stuff like that. So that was all going on. And then luckily at the back end of it was the first or the second week. It was awkward timing because it was sort of like early on-ish in the week that I got told. But anyways, so near a bank, it was a bank holiday, so we're off on the Friday. But it was on a Thursday, another company doing the same job as I do now, they put up that they were looking for an engineer as well. So it's like only 10 minutes down the road, like just in the next town along type of thing, from where I was. So I got in touch with them, and then had a a phone call with their manager and all that sort of stuff, and he asked us to go in the next day, was it? I think it was. Yeah, the next day he asked us to pop in and see them, so I went and did that. And then it went quite well. So then I did get offered the job, so I was able to then, start stressing less because obviously I was going, like I mentioned, I was going on holiday as well. So I was in that sort of worrying stage where I was thinking, well, I've just been made redundant. We're trying to buy a house. I'm going on holiday next week, so I can't really be doing any interviews next week. So that was stress. But then obviously when that happened, I was able to just like chill out and just be able to actually enjoy my holiday. So I started a few days ago in the new job, so I'm just settling in now, getting into the swing of how they do their stuff. It's mostly the same, but just going to be a bit of settling in period. So once that's all done, I should be able to like once I get my schedule figured out, get back on with doing these videos like more often again, and then it might also be one of those that when it does happen with the house and we're going to be moving and stuff like that, then again it could be a week or two of inconsistency, but we should know well in advance kind of when that's going to happen, so I can pre-warn when that's going to come around. So yeah, so it's been pretty much a hectic month this month, so hopefully, like I say, it's going to calm down. Yeah, I just thought I'd update you just in case anybody had been wondering, why it's been like for the last 3 weeks there's only been like one or two, two videos or whatever that I've managed to do and get out there. So, like I said, in the next week or two I should hopefully be able to get them more consistent again. So, just updating you on that. I'm just going to leave this one here anyways, and maybe next week I'll be able to get back to doing maybe 1 or 2 a week again. Well, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Cheers.